All right, guys, welcome in. Give thanks. It's the evening before the American holiday of Thanksgiving. And I mentioned it's the American holiday because I have been looking at some of the statistics and realize um, we may or may not have a contingency overseas. And so you guys may not know it's the American holiday of Thanksgiving tomorrow. So the in short, to our friends across the pond, happy Thanksgiving. This is a day to give thanks. I'll give you a little background on the holiday here in a moment, and then we'll jump right into the news. But um, you guys are so polite. Hello from sea. I told you we're big overseas. We're big overseas. Hey Abbas. Hey Seeking Truth. Lots of people. Thank heavens for Baron. Yeah, I'm not gonna knock your stone fetish. I don't know what that's all about, but keep me out of it. Keep me out of it. Before we get to the monologue, real quickly, we do have breaking news. The shooting in Washington, D.C., a couple of National Guard troops at least were shot near the White House in Washington, D.C. I do have one image that from the scene, apparently from the scene, allegedly from the scene. Look at this. What is this? Why is there a naked man? I mean, I think you can see his Brigitte Macron if you look closely enough. I think it's right there. So I don't know what that's all about. I do know that if I am the president of the United States and they come shooting my troops, trying to get them out of the country, out of the district, I would put another 1,000 in, maybe 2,000 more. If you guys are tired of seeing them, I would make it so you can't turn around without seeing them. But oh my gosh, guys, stop with the low volume stuff. Get a volume switch. That's all I can say. All I can say. Get a volume switch. Tired of the volume comments. I'm working on it. This is actually a new setting today, but I'm not going to keep messing with it. I go back and listen, and then I make adjustments, and I go back and listen. It's part of the charm. You got in on the ground floor. Part of the charm is you have to deal with stuff like this. That's part of the charm. Okay. I want to jump right into it because we've got a lot to talk about, particularly in light of our non-American friends not quite understanding what's going on in the world and why I and many others will not be probably on the air tomorrow. And this is my earlier than my normal Wednesday show. Typically on Wednesday I go closer to 7:00. But because it is the day before Thanksgiving, I'm coming a little early for you. So Thanksgiving is a uniquely American holiday. It's founded on a series of uniquely American circumstances. And that's not to say other countries don't celebrate a holiday in autumn or that other countries don't have a holiday reserved for giving thanks, but they don't have Thanksgiving, at least not in the American sense. Thanksgiving was born out of death, disease, and tragedy. It's hard for us in 21st century America to imagine, but when what we consider was the first Thanksgiving, when it was celebrated in 1621, death was the norm. Survival was the exception. Thanksgiving wasn't a trite label slapped on a day off of work. It was genuine thanks for survival. The death rate for pilgrims who arrived on the Mayflower was approximately 50% in the first year. Of the 102 or 103 pilgrims who landed at Plymouth Rock on November 21st, 1620, only an estimated 53 to 57 of them were still living a year later. Pilgrims died from scurvy, starvation, disease, and exposure, among others. Their deaths were not swift. They were painful. They were horrifying deaths that struck fear in the survivors who had a 50-50 chance of suffering a similar fate. The locals who inhabited the land before the arrival of the pilgrims had suffered an even worse loss in the 2 or 3 years before the Mayflower arrived. When the two groups finally learned how to communicate, the locals explained that roughly 90% of their population had inexplicably died from disease during the last few years. The locals exchanged their knowledge of the land, knowledge of the area, and the pilgrims who were settling the area had exchanged their knowledge and 17th century technology with the locals. Both groups, barely surviving from the humiliation nature had separately unleashed on them, came together for an autumnal feast of Thanksgiving, the first Thanksgiving and it lasted several days. There were, at the time, no frustrations with air travel delays. There was no gamesmanship around whether to burn a PTO day on Friday to ensure a leisurely weekend. There were no football games, and there were no large parades with large marching bands and large balloons. There was instead a genuine thanksgiving that God had seen fit that they should survive at least another day. There was genuine thanksgiving that food was plentiful enough to spend a few days feasting. There was genuine thanksgiving that a distinct population who had suffered a similarly horrifying death and misery could forge a common bond of humanity and celebrate together. We don't have records on whether Thanksgiving was celebrated for the next 150 years or so while the colonies expanded and took shape in the New World. We know that George Washington proclaimed Thanksgiving in December of 1977 after the Continental Army's victory over the British at Saratoga. And we know that on October 3rd, 1789, Washington signed what is widely considered the first official Thanksgiving of the newly liberated American Republic. He called upon Americans to enjoy a day of thanksgiving, public thanksgiving, and prayer, to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many and signal favors of Almighty God. Washington declared another Thanksgiving in 1795, and our second president, John Adams, declared his own Thanksgiving in 1798 and 1799. After that, Thanksgiving largely vanished. As the Revolutionary War ended and American independence took shape, the strong and urgent need to set aside a day specifically for Thanksgiving receded. It wasn't until 1814, at the end of the War of 1812, that James Madison would proclaim something similar to Thanksgiving. He termed it a day of public humiliation and fasting and of prayer to Almighty God for the safety and welfare of the United States. And then he followed it up with another Thanksgiving Day in 1815. And then once again, as devastation vanished and prosperity set in, Thanksgiving once again disappeared, this time for almost 50 years. It wasn't until the fall of 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, at a point in the war when most of the smart money predicted the South would win and survive as a separate, independent confederation of states, that Abraham Lincoln declared the birth of Thanksgiving Day as we know it. It was the lowest point in American history at that time and perhaps since. The fragile union of states had been split in half. Entire states had become battlefields. In border states, families turned on each other. In every state, the constancy of war weighed in the hearts and minds of every American, Northern and Southern. The fog of war was thick. Death and destruction had returned to America. Such was the backdrop of Lincoln's hopeful, if not mildly dishonest, proclamation of Thanksgiving with these words: "Peace has been preserved with all nations. Order has been maintained. The laws have been respected and obeyed, and harmony has prevailed everywhere except in the theater of military conflict, while that theater has been greatly contracted by the advancing armies and navies of the Union." Once again, the American Thanksgiving holiday is set against the backdrop of unimaginable tragedy. The call of the Thanksgiving holiday was not founded in and should not now today be a day to wallow in excess and luxury. Rather, it should be, as James Madison declared it, a day of public humiliation and fasting and of prayer to Almighty God for the safety and welfare of the United States. Perhaps President Madison would permit us license to extend it to the safety and welfare of our friends and family around the United States and around the world. Giving thanks and telling one another Happy Thanksgiving isn't trite, or at least it's not supposed to be. In the context of American history, it's deeply humbling. If we could set aside time to give thanks when the mortality rate for healthy adults was 50%, and if we could set aside time to give thanks in the shadow of war that tore our country apart, then we can give thanks now. We can give thanks while we investigate the suspicious death of an American treasure. We can give thanks while we help yet another American treasure investigate and prevent her own similar fate, because we can now give thanks no matter our circumstances. The Lord has willed that we should live another day. Let's make good use of it. In light of that, I wish all of you, in the truest and most heartfelt sense, a happy Thanksgiving. And with that, I want to turn to news breaking this afternoon in the investigation of Charlie Kirk's untimely passing. Candace Owens has put together a tweet that, again, has kind of rocked the world. I want to share it with you now, and I want you to consider whether or not you have anything to add in this. This is, again, an urgent plea, an urgent call for help to everyone. So while we read this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to make a day of it. I fully anticipate that we will not go terribly long tonight. So this may be densely packed and quickly moving over the next little while here. So Candace says, major break, someone directly involved in the booking process. Now notice, I hate that I have to do this with people's tweets, but I have to explain what they mean and what they don't mean. Because I've seen people on Twitter say, the person who checked them in at the cash register, why don't we just ask her? That's not what she said. That's not what she said. She said someone directly involved in the booking process. This could be someone who took the reservation over the internet. This could be someone who took the reservation over the phone. There could be any number of people she's talking about here, but it's someone directly involved in the booking process. It could be somebody now looking at the computers and going back and opening them up. Someone directly involved in the booking process has confirmed to me that our Egyptians who flew into Provo ahead of Charlie Kirk's assassination were staying at the La Quinta Inn and Suites in Orem, Utah. I'll have a lot to say on that in a moment. Why you would fly around the world to stay in a La Quinta, I will never understand. But I digress. Specifically, the University Parkway location. Apparently, there's more than one La Quinta in Orem, Utah, as if one is not too many. Remember, our Egyptians flew in on September 4th and stayed through September 13th. We are now looking for footage of these individuals. Now, notice she doesn't say we're looking for the names of the individuals. Because if somebody is directly involved in the booking process, she may already have the names of the individuals. That's kind of how I read that. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm not saying she has the names of the individuals. I'm saying it reads like she has the names of the individuals. Because she's looking for footage of the individuals. And we'll visit the scene virtually in a moment, and I'll show you why that might be a tall ask. If you own a store nearby and can check cameras, or perhaps you work at La Quinta and you remember something odd, someone in Utah may hold the key to solving this. Please email, and then she gives the email to her tip line there. So that was the big breaking news this afternoon on this, is that somebody involved in the booking process, again, not necessarily the person who took the reservation at the front desk, but someone who was involved in the booking process, in my opinion, very well. I worked at a hotel. My wife used to work at a hotel. Someone involved in the booking process may very well have the names of these people, or at least the alleged names of these people. And if that's the case, she may have, there, maybe that'll help you guys complaining with sound. If it clicks, let me know. I'll work about it. I hate dealing with the sound. I just need to hire somebody. If you guys continue liking and subscribing and sharing, I will hire a professional, and it will sound so good, your ears will think someone is making love to them. But not yet, because I'm not there yet. I get the impression she knows the supposed names, and that's why she put Egyptians in quote marks. Because one of the supposed names might be like Pierre. That's not a very Egyptian name. Francois. So let me go to the scene of the crime. I'm going to start on Google Maps, and I may end up on Google Earth. But I want to start here for a particular reason, because I want to point out the obvious. This is something consistent with what I said the other day. Let's get our bearings. If we drill in quickly here, drill in deep, what you will see is this is the amphitheater where Charlie Kirk was neutralized. Now, you'll notice all of the activity that took our attention for the first several months of this investigation took place up here. Took place in this neighborhood up here. This is the Phil Lyman family neighborhood. This is the neighborhood where the people gave footage over to the news. This is the neighborhood where the alleged shooter was seen walking around, running back and forth. This is the neighborhood where Phil Lyman's entire extended family for what seems like 50 generations lives back here in this neighborhood. And I asked a couple of shows ago, maybe 3 or 4 shows ago, why the misdirection? Because this is a big campus in a lot of ways in and out, including this pedestrian bridge. I have since learned we put in a request for footage from that pedestrian bridge, and we learned that pedestrian bridge allegedly does not record. It is only live looks. I think that's ludicrous if that's true. We got that back yesterday. This only does, or maybe today, this only does live recording. It does not do, live looks. It does not do recording. This is the pedestrian bridge that I believe may play a role in this investigation. But apparently there are no cameras there. But I did say, why are they drawing our eyes up here? I think this guy who ran across this roof and then took off this way, I think that was misdirection. I really do believe that. Because I think the bulk of the exfil took place this way. Why do I think that? I'm just going to be blunt here. I'm not accusing anyone of murder. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'm giving you my allegation here. But this is the path Mikey McCoy took immediately after the shot. The shot took place here. Mikey McCoy walked this way down this pathway, and you could see him walking this way towards this parking lot. And then we lost him. But look what happens. This parking lot goes to a major road that goes back and forth. And what's on the other side of this major road? The hotel, the La Quinta Inn and Suites that Candace Owens tweeted about today. Now, here's my question. And this is a legitimate question. You guys are going to think I'm making fun of people, and I'm not. If you love La Quinta Inn and you got La Quinta points, or you got like La Quinta pesos or whatever they are, more power to you. More power to you. But why would you stay in a La Quinta when there's literally a Hampton Inn right here? I mean, it's literally right here. And look how close it is to campus. Now, I'm going to propose why I think they did in just a moment. But look how close that is. And you got to take 5 car wash. You can wash your rental RAV4. We've got an IHOP right there. You can get you a little bite to eat in the morning. We got a Mickey D's over here, as they pronounce it in the South, a McDonald's. So why would you bury yourself all the way up here? And I'll show you the Google Maps version of this in a second. It's more buried than it looks. This is like a cliff right here. You cannot walk through this. So you are really isolated up here on kind of a mountaintop in many ways. And the only food up here really is this Krispy Kreme. And there's no way French people have flown over to the United States to eat at Krispy Kreme. That's not possible. That's not possible. They were probably suffering with the breakfast options in Orem, Utah. So that was my initial question is, hey, wait a minute. If you look here at the campus, it looks like this Hampton Inn and Suites, in addition to being far more comfortable, far more luxurious, is closer to the campus. But then I did something here. I clicked right here because I thought, okay, they could just walk aside, walk over here. And I started fishing around the location here of the La Quinta Inn, and I noticed something. There's almost no cameras. There's one right there. You see that one? There's one right there. And you start, now let's just go around the perimeter of the La Quinta, shall we? Do you see any cameras over here? I see no cameras over here. You zoom in on the pool area here. I don't see any cameras out. This has to be the most unsecure La Quinta Inn in the history of America. You fly down this way. Look, that'd be perfect opportunity for cameras on the edges here. There are none. No cameras in this overhang here. So this whole side is, as far as I can tell, without cameras. Now, what about this side? We've got an entryway right here. The only thing I see is this little doohickey down here that looks like a key card reader. I don't see a camera underneath that overhang. If there is, it does not appear to have a good look. And here, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, a little safety secret. You see what I'm doing here? I'm scouting this location and I've never been there before. And I'm able to do this on Google Maps and zoom in and see where are their camera locations, right? We got a little soffit vent here. Again, a little overhang here, but no cameras that we can find. I'm going to suggest to you that Google gives you an opportunity to blur out your house. Take advantage of that. If you live in a neighborhood or whatever, you can blur out your house because bad guys do what I'm doing here when they look how to get in and out of a house. They're looking for cameras. But if you scanned this facility ahead of time, you would learn what I have learned. There's almost no camera coverage of this entire hotel. Here's again another ingress and egress location. I see no camera. I see a card reader, but I see no camera. You got to go all the way back to the front for the only known camera that I could find, and it's one little bitty camera that you could dodge with a brimmed ball cap. It's that little thing right there is the only camera I could find. If there's another one, I've missed it. But I think it would be very easy if you're a team of hit squad to get in and out of this hotel over and over and over again over the course of September 4th to September 13th and not be seen. Not leave a trace of who you are, not leave an actual record of who you are. Put on your ball cap when you come and go and look down as you enter this door right here, and you're good to go. Or use one of the other locations around the side, and you're good to go. So, and seriously, guys, blur out your house. You can Google how to do it. It's super easy. Just go blur out your house. And that way, when the bad guys are looking at breaking into your house and they see it's all blurred out, they don't know where your cameras are. You should have a camera covering your entire perimeter. There should be cameras covering the entire perimeter of your home. I know this is from 2023, but do you think they went on a camera buying binge in the last 2 years? This is the most up-to-date exterior footage we have of the La Quinta Inn. They don't strike me as a place that's upgrading very often. Now, I want to take you to the Google Maps version so you can get an idea of the depth of this place to see, again, why a squad who did not want to be identified may have stayed here. I'm going to orient ourselves ever so slightly, and then look at that. You see what I'm looking at there? This place is on a cliff. I couldn't tell that from Google Maps, but when I got to Google Earth, I realized they are really isolated up there. This is on a hilltop. Look at that. You can't just come and go up there. And I think this is important when evaluating whether or not this place might have been selected for a particular reason. But you've got a nice little elevated position all the way around. Again, you can look on this as well, no cameras. But you've got a nice little elevated position, and there aren't a lot of exterior cameras on other locations. You've got a little Academy Sports here, is what it looks like. But the cameras are on the front. You got to walk all the way around to that side to get to it. Then you have, I think, a little mattress store or something. But again, you've got to get over there. Just not a bunch of cameras in this location. So even though it's close to the campus, it's a pretty hidden little spot. A pretty hidden little spot. So let's show if this is our squad. Again, our squad is coming in from down here where this little red flag is. They're infiltrating this way. I don't know if you can see my cursor. You guys tell me all the time you cannot. But like almost dead center of the screen is where the Charlie Kirk event was. And then these houses up on the top is where the misdirection was. This is where they wanted us looking. This is where they wanted us spending months and weeks looking for cameras, knocking on people's doors. Have you seen anything suspicious? Do you have a Ring doorbell camera? Might I take a look at it? In the meantime, we are weeks now, months after the fact, more than 3 months after the fact, 2 months after the fact, almost 3 months. And all these cameras down here that might have had something have all been written over in all likelihood. Most cameras don't store for 3 months at a time, 4 months at a time, 5 months at a time. Most of them store a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they're gone. And I really believe that tells me even more that this was a very sophisticated operation. This was not just a 20-year-old guy that's into furries who happened to figure all this out. And I think the wild desperation of some people to make it out that it only was Tyler James Robinson and no one else and no sophistication whatsoever going into this, I think that really tells me there was American involvement. I think it tells that's the only way I can look at it, because these are American Twitter feeds that are just hyperventilating on a daily basis, trying to get you to believe that this was Tyler Robinson alone, and absolutely no one else. That's the reason America has a 72% overweight rate. That's the problem I'm trying to point out. That's amazing. Okay. Now, I want to go back to something that's a little fun. We'll just do something a little fun again. I did not have a long time to do this, so people don't get all bent out of shape. I know how you people are. You guys get all bent out of shape. I'm going to go ahead and just share the whole Chrome browser here. So we're back to Google Trends. Now, what do we see in France? La Quinta in Orem. Now, if you go to Latin Mass, you know Orem probably comes as a derivative of Oremus, right? Let us pray. Oremus. So maybe someone is looking up some sort of religious thing. I don't know. I just always try to think, is there any explanation for these searches? Why would someone in France be searching La Quinta in Orem? Orem sounds pretty specific. I'm not sure how many cities there are named Orem. But you have here a search, La Quinta in Orem in France in April, and then another one in August of 2025. This is from France. What about La Quinta Inn and Suites Provo? Because Provo is really right there, and if you notice, the Comfort Inn actually said Comfort Inn Provo. You have a La Quinta Inn and Suites Provo, June 29th search out of France. Now, does that mean, Brigitte Macron is single-handedly looking for a... No, not what that means. Does that mean anyone nefariously, necessarily 100% lock-solid evidence that this is proof the French were in on it and the French did it and the French were searching for... No. But what it means is these searches were run from an IP address originating in France. That's all it means. That's all it means. What about La Quinta Inn and Suites in France? Again, yes, July 12th. Again, remember the July dates. Remember that week before or after. Addresses are tricky, and there's a reason I'm not doing the address. Addresses are tricky, and I'll explain that when I have more time. What about just La Quinta Inn in Egypt? Well, we had an early spring La Quinta Inn, and then we had a late La Quinta Inn. But maybe our good friends, the Egyptians, don't love sleeping, in quality when they're traveling. Maybe not. What about La Quinta Inn Orem, Utah in Israel? Now, this is pretty specific, right? Orem, Utah. This isn't just random looking for La Quinta Inn. This isn't just random looking for a hotel in Orem, Utah. This is a specific hotel in a specific city that I had never heard of until Charlie Kirk. Now, what about La Quinta in Orem, Utah in Israel, April 18th? Did I already do that one? La Quinta in Orem. Oh, I did Orem, UT. So that was April 10. And then Orem, Utah, that was April 18. The reason I do that, someone asked me this before, why do you spell things differently sometimes? Because to me, that's how people search stuff. Like sometimes you'll do Orem, UT, and sometimes you'll do Orem, Utah. So I tried to predict. I even looked like hotels in Orem, Utah, hotels near Utah Valley University. I did all kinds of searches. I'm just showing you a bit of it because I only learned this a couple of hours before I came live, only had a little bit of time to play around with this. Now, this one's interesting to me. And I'm raising this for the first time because I don't know what to make of it. This is our friends, the Australians. La Quinta in Orem, Utah. That's pretty specific. We've got a spring hit or late winter, and then we have a hit the day before the Charlie Kirk neutralization. And I'll say this. I've been holding this little fact back. No, it doesn't need commas. This is why it doesn't need commas. If I do commas, it's going to separate the searches. Let me do the Google trending. You do the commenting in the live stream. La Quinta in Orem, Utah. If I put a comma there, you're going to get La Quinta in Orem as compared to La Quinta in Utah. I mean, as compared to Utah. And that's not going to be very helpful. But our good friends, the Australians, come up more than I'm comfortable admitting. They come up more than I'm comfortable admitting. And the way I discovered this was actually quite by accident. I realized I need to figure out if these are coincidences or not, right? So what I'll do is I'll do the search, and then I'll look for countries touching the country I'm searching. Then I go and I look at countries that speak English. Or if it's an Arabic-speaking country, I go to countries that speak Arabic. So if I'm looking at Egypt, I'll also look at Jordan. I'll also look at Saudi Arabia. I'll look at countries that speak the language. Well, when I looked at countries that speak English, I look at Canada, I look at the United Kingdom, I look at New Zealand, I look at Australia. I look at a lot of these things. Slow mode is people were spamming the chat last time, and this at least makes them wait 30 seconds before they post a second time. So they can only spam once every 30 seconds. That's all slow mode is. I turned that on because when I watched the replay, it was ludicrous. But I noticed Australia kept coming up. Now, am I suggesting our good friends, the kangaroos, are over there plotting the neutralization of American citizens? No. It's possible someone's just using a VPN running through Australia. It's possible, though, that somebody in Australia is searching, coincidentally, a lot of the same terms that are being searched in Egypt and France and Israel and the United States and the District of Columbia. That's also possible because it's happening. And again, I don't know whether this is a coincidence. I don't know if there's anything to this. But I do know Kash Patel was in New Zealand, and I think he might have been in Australia like the month before Charlie Kirk was neutralized. Right next to Valhalla, of all places. So I don't know what to make of this. I cannot say without a doubt 100%. I cannot say that the French absolutely were using Google to plan the hotel stay of a hit squad that was the fact that I even have to say all this, but words get attributed to me, so I need to be clear. I'm not saying that the French were using Google to plan a hit, but I'm not saying that either. You know, you see what I'm not saying the Egyptians were using Google to find a hotel near campus. But I'm suggesting if they did use Google to find a hotel near campus, it would have looked a lot like what we just reviewed in France and Egypt and Israel. That's all I'm suggesting. That's all I'm suggesting. I can't say definitively who was doing it. I can't say definitively who's doing it, but I can say definitively, without a doubt, that there are too many weird trends popping up on Google Trends on my very cursory review tonight. Like, normally I have to spend a long time dialing something in. This is why I don't think most people understand the Google Trend search, because it will take me sometimes 3, 4, 5 hours of trimming a search down just to do one concept. And I get a lot of people that'll type in one word or one address, and they'll go, see, it's right there. I'm like, yeah, but did you search it in 45 different countries? Because that's how I do it. Did you search it on 25 different date ranges? Because that's how I do it. And when you see a signal that just will not go away and it just persistently stays, that's not noise. When you search it over 5 or 10 different years going back in the past, that's not noise. If it's not there except in the 1 year. And so I didn't go through that process today. I didn't have enough time. I was just having a little fun. I saw these things. I looked at it. I will. I anticipate I will spend some time over the Thanksgiving holiday doing exactly that. But if I look at the first 9 months of the year for France, and I see these same things popping up over and over, but I don't see them pop up in the 24. I don't see them pop up in 2023. I don't see them pop up in 2022. I don't see them pop up in 2021, but they keep popping up in 2025. And then I look around at 45 different countries and they're only popping up in 5 of them. And I look in the past and they keep showing up in a random 5, but but this one is a super heavy signal coming out of France or coming out of Israel or coming out of Egypt. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know because I think at that point it has investigatory value. Right now it has some, but mostly it's just fun. Mostly it's just fun. I got a tip from an email to watch a little piece of an Erika Kirk interview she did with Megyn Kelly. And you guys may have already heard her say this. And I don't know if you have or not. But she said something that jumped out relative to a meeting we know existed in the Hamptons in August. And I think it's almost, I know some of you are ready to say she's guilty and was in on it. I think that's unfair. And I know some of you are ready to say she absolutely had nothing to do with it. Anyone who says anything bad about, anything good about Erika Kirk or whatever, I'm done with them. Hey, listen. Why don't we just listen to what she's saying and see what we can make of it? But I see a lot of people saying, don't make me listen to it. I'm going to make you listen to about 40 seconds. Because this is a 40-second clip that I think is absolutely illuminating about whether or not people were telling Charlie Kirk, you about to go, bud. You're about to go. And I want you to hear this and tell me if you're hearing the same thing.
And my husband, in August, before all this happened, he had a event where he had some donors at. And one of the first questions they asked was, God forbid if something happens to you, like what would happen next to Turning Point? And Charlie made a really interesting point. He said, companies, example, Apple, Macintosh, he said they're founder-led. He said, but what I have built will one day, if I'm not around, be vision-led. And he had made mention at the end, Erika will do a great job running it. And
did you catch what I heard? Did you catch what I heard? Because what I heard was he went to a meeting in August and some donors were there. That sounds like the Hampton meeting. Now, it might be that he was somewhere else where there were donors. But we do know that a donor meeting took place in August where they confronted Charlie Kirk saying essentially, hey, oh, by the way, you better get your tail in line or we're going to pull your money. Now, am I 100% confident this conversation took place exactly like she just recounted it? No. But I think it's awfully telling that she says, oh, they were talking about what would happen if he died. Because that's not a normal conversation. If that conversation took place, that is not a normal conversation. That's not a conversation you have with people, particularly people you don't see a lot. Unless you're my lawyer, my will and trust lawyer, don't talk to me about what happens when I die. I'm going to think it's weird. I'm going to assume you have nefarious plans plotting my demise. Don't talk to me about what's going to happen when I die. The only people who can ask me about that are my wife and my lawyer. That's it. That's it. No one else may ask me what happens when I die. I don't care if I'm 2 weeks from my death. Like I know it. Not that you're planning it and I don't know it. I'm talking about like what may have happened with Charlie Kirk. I'm talking about, if I have a fatal terminal disease or whatever, like I'm dying of Lou Gehrig's disease. If I'm 2 weeks, don't ask me. Don't ask me what's going to happen when I die. Assume I know. I just saw someone's comment. You guys are terrible. I don't know, man. An emailer took that to me. An emailer sent that to me and said, listen to this at 58 minutes and 10 seconds or whatever and tell me what you think. And I thought, sounds to me like someone was telling them they're about to kill them. What's going to happen to this place when you die? That's a weird thing to ask someone. Again, don't talk to me. Hey, blame it on YouTube. I can't control that. Blame it on YouTube. The more popular a show gets, the more people want to run ads on it. So that's part of it. The other thing, too, is YouTube Premium's not that expensive. YouTube Premium, you'll never watch a YouTube ad again. And it's amazing. I've been a YouTube Premium member for quite some time. I don't watch the ads. It is annoying. I granted. And I know not everybody wants to pay another subscription and all that. I don't get the YouTube Premium money. I'm just telling you how to avoid the problem you're suffering from. Because the more popular a show gets, and these shows are now getting 80, 100, 120, 140,000 views in the first couple of days they go up. And so people want to advertise. I can't control that. I don't even really control who advertises. I have banned gambling, I think, and like porn. I have banned a couple categories. And I don't know, maybe porn pays well. Maybe I need to, no. I've got principles. So we're not gambling. I know I'm not a gambler. I don't believe in gambling. We're not gambling. And we're not porning it up in here. Did I study in law school? Yeah, I did well in law school. I finished pretty well in law school. What do you mean, did I study? Or did you know me? And you wonder. So, yeah. So, again, I apologize for that. Yeah, $7.99 a month, someone said, and no ads on YouTube. I think that's about the going rate. It's not expensive. Never watch another YouTube ad. So, let me go through this, a couple of these supers here, because I know you guys are dying to start your Thanksgiving holiday, and I do not want to be the thing that holds you up. No. I do not want to be the thing that holds you up. So let me get to some of these. Happy Thanksgiving from San Francisco. Happy Thanksgiving from Middle Tennessee. Christy Nahart Wickinson, 6135. Thank you for the donation. Emerald Robinson's reporting on X. They found the election tampering. China, Venezuela, and Iran. The machines are compromised. Chips. I'll check it out. I like Emerald Robinson. I'll check it out. I have no doubt that those machines are compromised. Anybody, you remember when the Iraqis did their election after we destroyed their country in 2003? And they had their first election, and everybody had to like put tattoo dye on their fingers, and they had to walk around with purple tattoo fingers. Looked like they were getting a little too excited with a Teletubby. That is how elections should be. You should be basically branded when you leave the voting booth. And they should know exactly who you were. And there should be a paper record that everyone can go back and count. And it should be locked up. And if you get caught messing with elections, it should not be a fine. It should not be a slap on the wrist. It should be life in prison. It's that serious. It's an act of war. You are undermining the political leadership of the United States or its subsidiaries or its constituent parts. And it should be life in prison. You vote twice, life in prison. You forge a signature, life in prison. No mercy, none, no parole. I don't care how good you are in prison. I don't care if you're a model prisoner. I don't care if you're leading people to Jesus left and right and getting a correspondence degree in television production or whatever they have. You're life in prison. You're done. You may not mess with elections. Show up, vote once, present ID, go home. Let's all tune in on election night and see who wins. Jolie Ollie, $20. Thank you. Generous donation. Starting a podcast soon. What's your advice for equipment needed, mic, software, etc.? Other advice for those new to podcasting. Apparently, don't listen to me for mic advice. I'm going to have to hire somebody. The Shure SM7B is kind of the gold standard, I think, in podcasting mics. There's some other ones. Shure has a podcasting mic. They have Rode has a podcasting mic. I do a little research on your own. Soundboards. Rode obviously has easy to work ones that most of the mics are plug and play on. And make sure you have decent lighting. I wish I could show you what my setup in here. You'll need a few computer screens and a computer powerful enough to run it. And I think you'll be good. Here's what you're an inspiration, good sir. I want to join the Middle Tennessee Information Army. Hey, Middle Tennessee's eaten up with good podcasters. Your humble host included. Candace Owens. We'll say Ben Shapiro, but I don't, not Ben Shapiro. Andrew Clavin, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Brett Cooper. I think Michael Wilbon's based out of here. Someone told me that, and I think that's true. Middle Tennessee's a haven for good podcasting. Part of the deal is you can get anywhere quickly. We have a pretty easy airport to get in and out of, and we're like a 2-hour flight from everywhere. So except like Los Angeles, but who wants to go out there? So it's a great place to set up a podcast. But yeah, do some research, figure it out. I'm still figuring it out, and I've been doing this a long time. My advice to you, this is my advice, more than any equipment. Be consistent. Don't be boring if you can avoid it. I don't know what topic you're going on, but try not to be boring. And my biggest and best advice to you, period, end of story, don't listen to your first 50 episodes, maybe 100. Don't scope them, the term for going back and looking for errors and listening to transitions and listening to sound quality and all that. Don't scope it. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Stay away from them. Do your podcast. Do your best. Put that baby to bed and then get ready for the next one. Here's why I say that. I know where my old radio shows are stored. My early radio shows are stored. And I was listening to Sean Hannity one day. This would have been long before I was on the radio. This was in probably like early 2000s. And he was on a little AM signal where I lived. And somebody called in and said, "Oh, Sean, you're such an amazing inspiration. I'm actually going to get a radio talk show Saturday night in a little AM station outside of Los Angeles. I'm going to send you a tape to my first show." And you know what Sean Hannity said? Don't send me a tape to your first show. Send me a tape to your 100th show. And I think there's a lot of value in that. You get better with time. It's like driving a race car. It's like shooting a gun. The only way you get better is by experience and repetitions in doing it. Throwing a baseball, hitting a baseball, shooting free throws. Doing it is the only way you get better. And eventually you will forget you're in front of a microphone. You won't even notice there's a camera right there. You'll be looking at your screen and comments rolling in, and you'll be, have 3 or 4 or 5 screens going, and you're monitoring sound levels out of one thing. You're hearing your voice move around the mic, and you don't even pay attention to it anymore. But don't listen to your first shows. Just do them, put them to bed, and go on to the next one. Trust me, if you've done something terribly wrong, someone is going to tell you. If your sound levels aren't high enough, you're going to know. Because your comment section will be eaten up with people who are like, "I can't hear. I don't know where the volume button is on my phone." Magnifico Maltese, $20. Did you see Brandon Tatum said he spoke with Candace? And although he's been giving her a hard time on Twitter, he said he's convinced she's telling the truth and called on government to investigate. We covered that yesterday's show, madam or sir. So, yeah, I did see it. And, yeah. Baron, you said locals. Who are the locals? American Indians? Absolutely. That's exactly who I meant. I don't know. I never know how to refer to people. Like the French, I can call the French. The Germans are the Germans. You start referring to the natives and people get all bent out of shape. We're Indians. No, we're not Indians. Yeah, we're Indians. No, we're not. And so I call them the locals because they were local. See how that works? You knew who I was talking about. It's basically a language genius. That's all. That's all. LeBaron, Lula Baron. Hit that like button. Indeed, hit the like button, subscribe, and share the podcast with people. And click notifications so you know when I go live. But share the podcast with people. Here's why it's important to subscribe. I had 140,000 people watch yesterday's show. Only 61,000 were subscribers or are subscribers. Only like 30-something were actually subscribers, which means 75% of the audience from yesterday's show is not a subscriber to this program. That's unacceptable. Just subscribe. You should look at my subscription list. It's like every podcast I've ever watched. If I've watched it more than once, I'm a subscriber. Just subscribe. Hit that like button, though. That does help push us into the YouTube algorithm. And again, the more popular the show gets, the more it pushes it, and the more people want to advertise and all that. I feed the goats. $20. Thank you. Oh, that's Randall. I know that picture anywhere. I may have bought you that hat, brother. No, that's not. I did buy you a hat, though, one time. A Ferrari hat, Kimi Räikkönen, if you recall. But yeah, that's Randall. Feed the goats, $20. Thank you, Randall. Agent Jenny, $10. The Quinta allows pets. I know, but if they're Arabs, I don't think they're big on dogs, are they? Do Egyptians like dogs? Ancient Egyptians held dogs in high regard. Modern Egyptians have a complex relationship with dogs. It's complicated, as traditional Islamic views often consider them unclean, limiting their role to guarding or hunting. So, I don't think they were won over on the dog issue. You don't take Fido on a hit. Come on, Benji, let's go. Come on, we got to put a hole in someone's neck. Let's go. Come on. You wait in the room. We'll be right back, hopefully. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. But duly noted, if I ever have to travel with a dog. My dog is definitely unclean, by the way. Ugh. Hair and smell. I love your monologues. Tucker could take lessons from you. Tucker's the GOAT of monologues. Stop it. Okay, maybe that's a stretch. Agreed. But either way, you give a great monologue. Thank you very much, Shady Logos. Thank you very, very much. That does mean a lot. I do spend a lot of time on them, probably more than I should. But I think it's, I subscribe to the old broadcasting standard. If you're going to say something, say it well. And if I want to tell you that Thanksgiving has a cool history, I could log on and go, hey, guys, it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving got a cool history in America. It's awesome. You should look it up. Or I can tell you what it is. And if I'm going to bother telling you what it is, I might as well do it well. If you're going to do something, do it well. Thank you for the very kind words, and thank you for the generous donation. L Bucks, Kellyanne. I had a look at road traffic cameras across Provo. The feed is live streamed. When you look at their locations on the map, there's virtually none in the direction we've been told to focus on. That's correct. It's amazing how well this was orchestrated. It's almost as if there were professionals involved. It's almost as if there were professionals involved. Steelers girl, $20. Thank you. Thanksgiving cheer and blessings to you and yours tomorrow, and to you and yours as well in the Western PA land. We're so big over in the Balkans. They may not know much about American Thanksgiving, but here in these United States, we know about it. Amanda Van Allen, radiation belt, $9.99. Smoke and mirrors. Whenever something big happens, look the other direction. They chose La Quinta because there wasn't a red roof in nearby. I'm not making fun of people who stay at different places. If you want to stay at La Quinta, if that's your place, that's great. I'm a Hampton guy, through and through. When I go to a Hampton, I know what kind of beds they use, and I know what kind of pillows they use. And I know what kind of blankets they use. It's always a comfortable stay. This is not an advertisement for Hampton. They have nothing to do with this program. They probably would run from an advertisement for me. But I'm telling you right now, that's where I travel, and that's where I stay. I probably shouldn't say that. Now, if I ever go anywhere and you guys find out, you're going to go to the local Hampton, and I'm going to be busted. Sitting at the bar drinking a Shirley Temple. But yeah. $21, oddly specific amount there, Neem. You said people only vacation in California. One United Socialist Republic of California resident right here Whatever the media says, California isn't that bad. Do you like the original Mad Max movie we watched as kids? If so, then you'll love California. That's exactly right. I've been to California several times. My impression of California is I wouldn't want to live there, but I see why people do. And I always forget why people do until I get there and feel the weather. It doesn't matter whether you, like I was in San Jose, a month or two ago, 3 months ago, whenever I was there. September, October, somewhere in there. And the weather was perfect. Like I couldn't believe how perfect. Walking around pinching myself. Couldn't believe the weather was that good. And then I looked around at the people, and we stayed in a little place called Los Gatos. I don't know if you know where that is. It's a nice little kind of enclave between San Jose and Santa Cruz. And I thought it was great. I thought, man, I could live here. And then I looked up the percent of the Trump vote in Los Gatos, California. It's low, people. I mean, like minuscule. Minuscule. And I thought, maybe I can't live here. Maybe I can't live here. Here before 1 million subscribers. Yeah, you are. You're way before 1 million subscribers, sir. Someone emailed me the other day and said they were subscriber number 300. They must have been on the cutting edge. They heard some bad podcasting. No. They heard great podcasting. Thank you for your contribution there, good sir. I'm not sure about this location, but don't La Quintas have just a tablet for checking in? It's done online, not front desk staff. Not sure about this one, though. I don't know. We have locals who could probably go by and check it out. I've had several people who've emailed me and say they live in Orem or they live in Provo and would be happy to run by and check something out. That's a great thing to check out. And run by and look and see if there are cameras in the lobby. That's great. You've given me a great idea, Obsessed Sports. Appreciate your very, very generous donation. Oh, man, Mexican bucks. Hello from Cyprus, Romania. Why are you giving me, is it Mexican dollars? Is that MX currency? Why are you giving me Mexican bucks from all the way over there? Yeah, Mexican pesos. We follow USA because it affects us, and all you guys literally call your president the world leader. Respect to you. He is the leader of the free world, ma'am. Or sir. Constantinos, if that is your real name. The president rightly is referred to as the leader of the free world. The United States leads, at least for now. We are a unique hegemonous power. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation. I don't know how much 129 Mexican pesos is. I mean, I've got someone, I think 50,000 or something, Iraqi dollars. I don't know. It might save me money to use it as toilet paper. I'm not sure. It's that worthless. So I don't know what the Mexican dollar's doing these days. Back to Obsessed Sports. I checked. It is a 24-hour front desk, but offers mobile check-in on their app. Good way to bypass staff. That's a great catch, Obsessed Sports. What I would love is if anyone wants to email me and offer to run in there and take some pictures of the facility, the exterior, see if you know where any cameras are, and the interior. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. And if you can strike up, if you're attractive and there's a male on duty, you might be able to get the footage. Now, if you're a male and there's a female on duty, forget about it. You are not getting any footage from any camera under any circumstances. That girl is not breaking the rules for you. But ladies, if there is a man at the front desk and you're even like a 6, you'll probably walk out of there with the footage from that whole week. You'll have a hard drive. You'll have an email version. If you say, oh, man, I don't have an email, but I'll give you my number. Can you text it to me? They might just give you online access to the entire security system of La Quinta. They'll give you their login information. Are you kidding? Women can get away with anything. They can get away with anything. So if you go down there, Obsessed Sports, you're probably going to walk out of there with some camera footage if you keep going back until a man is working. Name is back only in California. We had a homeless, one-armed black guy who slept on the job site. LAPD boys called him tripod. Well, that's not very polite. He slept in his birthday suit. Oh, that's the tripod. It's not the arm, it's the third leg. I get it. I had to wake him up. Talk about getting your self-esteem knocked down every morning. Stop it. Ah! I thought you were talking like a dog, that has 3 legs, and you were calling his arm the tripod. Oh, that's great. Thanks for your donation. Caitlin Darrigan, 3310. Maybaron, just saw you emailed me back on the tip about Buckley. I did. That was a great tip. I could get more info together and send it to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Enjoy the holiday with your family. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Give thanks. The Buckley stuff's great. Someone sent me a whole thing on Mount Weather. I fell into a hole. I almost couldn't dig out of it. It was so interesting. And it's not just crazy people talking about Mount Weather. I mean, you're talking about legitimate United States senators saying that this was back in the 70s, keep in mind. Can you imagine what they have today? But this was back in the mid-1970s. There was a United States senator from California, Tunney, I think his name was. And he said that in this mountainside storage cabinet in Virginia, they had a dossier on 100,000 Americans. And that they had identified, I don't remember if it was 6,500 Americans or 65,000 Americans, that they viewed as essential to perpetuating life on the planet after nuclear fallout. And that if they felt like the world was going to end, they were going to get those people and bring them underground. What? I fell into that hole and I could not get out. I got my fingertips all scraped up trying to get out, and it just kept dragging me in. And I'm not done either. I've ordered a book, ladies and gentlemen. I ordered a book on Mount Weather. That's how far into the hole I fell. When you're ordering, in the year 2025, when you're ordering hard copy books, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're so deep into the conspiracy theory, you'll never get out of it. Please do not discount VPN services. I never have. I've always said that VPN services are a logical explanation to some of these things. But again, if someone's using a VPN to look up the 7 surgeons at Timpanogos Regional Hospital in the same week in July, right after Tucker Carlson, Dave Smith, and Megyn Kelly took the stage at a TPUSA event, and 5 days before TPUSA puts in a request to host Charlie Kirk, and then Charlie Kirk ends up getting neutralized at the event, even if it's a VPN, if I'm the governor of Utah, if I'm the sheriff of Utah County, if I'm the president of the United States or the FBI director or the DNI for the United States, I want to know who it was. I want to know who it was. Because I'll tell you what, I did those 7 surgeons in a lot of jurisdictions, and they just don't show up. They don't show up. They sure don't show up in a tight 1 or 2 week time frame. And they sure don't show up in the same country in that tight 1 or 2 week time frame. Only Israel, my friend, only in that time period. And again, I'm not saying someone was doing it. It could have someone in Israel was doing it. Could have very well been a VPN, but it was someone. And that someone needs to be identified. Thanks for your donation. Dr. Hale, 88. Are you 88 years old or were you born in 88? Or are you like a closet Nazi? Don't they use 88? I'm the second person who'd heard of Ian from you. Really? Now I feel bad for calling you a closet Nazi. I don't believe that, sir. I think you were born in 1988. Also, our sweethearts match right now. Our sweatshirts match right now. Keep up the excellent work. Happy Thanksgiving. Cheers. I don't know why I went with blue today. It was just clean and on the top. There was no reason behind it. Sometimes I try to match the sweatshirt to my mood. Actually ordered another one, but it's delayed. It's going to be a great one. You guys are going to love it when you see it. Thank you as always. P.S. Your volume is always perfect. Melissa B., thank you. Thank you for finally understanding me. This happens on other live streams where the volume is fine. They may be trolls. I tend to believe they are. Orem is in the Bible in the book of Job 5:13. The Hebrew translates to craftiness or shrewdness, used once to describe those who are caught in their own cunning schemes against God's plan. But isn't Oremus, doesn't that mean let us pray? So is praying, Oremus is Latin for let us pray. used as an invitation to prayer in Christian liturgies like the Catholic Mass and Anglican services. So does that mean that Orem is a root of Oremus? And that the Latin for pray comes from craftiness or shrewdness? There's so much I've got to learn. Speaking of holes, I fell in the amen hole one time. I asked what I thought was, I was kind of a new Christian. I asked what I thought was a very interesting question. Why do we keep saying amen after prayers? What does that mean? And everyone's like, I don't know. I never thought about it. Like you ritually and liturgically recite words dozens of times every week and you don't know what they mean? So I looked up what amen meant. And all of a sudden I'm in ancient Egypt studying the sun god, looking him dead in the eye. And it made sense to me because the Hebrews came from Egypt, right? They came out of Egypt. Why wouldn't they have taken a word with them? They were there hundreds of years. Surely they learned the language. Thank you, Puking Dog, for that comment and the donation. Did not expect Australia to come up in this. It wasn't me. I didn't think it was you and your A-Bucks. I would have never guessed it was you. I know that you wouldn't do that, you see. Yeah, I didn't expect Australia to come up either. And I'm not suggesting Australia is involved. I'm just saying I've noticed this pattern that pops up that the more I dig into some of this stuff, the more I see Australia continue to pop up. And I think that's weird. It's really, really, really weird. Giving thanks for me, giving thanks for Baron on Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving, Baron. His dudeness, your dudeness. Thank you. I'll give thanks for your dudeness, 242, for your generous donation, and wish you a happy Thanksgiving as well. Give thanks. Savage Princess, did you see Brian Harpole's new interview on Paramount Tactical? I saw he was doing one. Gary, for some reason, doesn't like me, and I don't know that I want to watch it, frankly. I don't have an issue with Gary. Gary has an issue with me. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Hope your day is full of good food, family chatter, and children's laughter. Thank you. There will be children's noise. I anticipate a little children whining, probably a little screaming. I might hear children's, he's touching me. He did it first. That's mine. Could be any of those. Could be any of those. Adrian, kid, we're going to have a great time. Kids will laugh. We're going to my mom's house. It's going to be amazing. Adrian, New Jersey, $12. Not sure if Candace posted this on X, but on Instagram after that post, you read she posted this. Somebody in Orem knows something. Go Max. Oh, I can't wait for her update. That is correct. Someone in Orem knows something. Someone's camera has something. But I will give them this. If it was a professional hit squad, they did a very good job scouting a location with very few cameras that they can get in and out of without passing almost any camera. It's really a great location. I don't know if did I take you on the route, but you can leave on Google Maps. You can leave the location and drive out by hitting the mouse button and advancing slowly down the driveway. Either way you go out, there's almost no cameras. It's insane. Like, what city in America can you do that? Only Orem, only that hotel. Thanks for your donation. Very, very generous, Adriana. Happy Thanksgiving up there in New Jersey. New Jersey. Samantha Oz, A-Bucks, hello from Australia. Baron, you're my favorite channel, along with Ian and Candace. Keep up the amazing work you're doing. Thank you. Thank you. I'll do my best. I'll keep doing what I do, and you keep coming back, and we'll have a nice, long, fruitful relationship here. Crystal Ball, what about the $300,000 insurance policy premium TPUSA was paying on Charlie? That's a massive amount. Happy Turkey Day. Go Max and speak up. That is a massive amount, man. But he also was worth 8 figures. And he also was a high-profile public figure who had 24-hour security, meaning it's not like you going and getting the value of your salary, right? You go in, you say, I need a $150,000 policy because if something happens to me, I don't want my family to be burdened that first year. I want them to be able to pay all the bills, live life as normal. I don't want the kids to have to stop playing travel ball, and I don't want them to have to come home from college, you know. It's not this. They'll go in, they'll go, what are you, 48? Yeah, good. You're fine. I'm not saying you look 48, man. You look 23, just like your number. I'm saying me. I look 48. And they just write it just because, I mean, they don't even care if you they don't care. It's not that much money. When you're buying the policy that Charlie's buying to cover an $8 million or a 10, 12, 15, $25 million estate, 8-figure estate, those get a little salty, particularly when you're under threat of assassination. Someone lost money on that deal. Some company lost money on that deal. Roll that beautiful bean footage. That was the old Bush's Baked Beans commercial. Found you through Ian Carroll. Good stuff, dude. I'm chilling in the man cave with a beer. Let's keep this thing going. Bottoms up, good sir. Bottoms up. I'll do my best. Mail lady. Happy Thanksgiving, Baron. Did you see my email? Hope you and your family have a great holiday. I did look through some emails this afternoon. I don't know that I got through all of them. So yours may be unopened. I'm working on it. Casanova Frankenberg 4206. Man, that is a long name. $9.99. Look into Le Cercle if you haven't already. Apparently they meet twice a year. They sound like Le Cercle Jerkel. Is this that group of 100 rich people in France that can get together and decide how the world's going to go? Can you believe France is still a thing? Honestly, can you believe France is still a thing? And what I mean by that is, at one time, you had to speak French to do business in the world. All the NATO documents, I think, are drafted in French. And they might be English now, but I think they started in French. The United Nations were in French. Their documents. The League of Nations documents were in French. If you didn't speak French, you weren't cultured. You couldn't get by in the world. Benjamin Franklin spent time in France when he was growing up. France was like a thing. You would think with their performance in the last 2 world championships of intercontinental warfare that they wouldn't be a thing. No one would be scared of France. But apparently there's still people that think France is a thing. Oh my, I pay $51.99 a month for premium in Australia. Just YouTube premium? Or YouTube TV? Because I pay for YouTube TV, I pay more than that. I think it's $80 or something. But if you pay that for YouTube Premium, that's salty to not watch commercials. I don't think I'd pay $52 now. I think I'd just hit next. But for $10, $15, I don't want to watch a commercial if I only have to pay less than $15. Good luck to you, though. And thanks for the donation. Sausage Biscuits, $10. Charlie believed in a traditional family. And Erika being a mom who raised their kids. Very vocal about that. Who is supposed to raise the children if he wanted Erika to take over a company that large? Well, sir, a traditional family, the mother is alive and so is the father. And so the mom can stay home and raise the kids. But when there is, when dad has passed away or isn't in the house, mom doesn't have that option. And if this is Charlie, look, I will say I don't believe this, but we may find out one day she's a monster. We may find out one day she plotted this whole thing out on the back of a napkin and was savage enough to keep it. And that someone finds it one day and they say, oh my gosh, here's the plan. They stayed at the La Quinta Inn. They flew into the Provo airport. Erika plotted the whole thing out. It says right here, she did it on July 14th. That might happen. But until then, she married a guy who started a nonprofit and was making really good money from it. And when he passed away, she continued it. The thing kind of runs itself. It's not like she's in a boardroom. I wouldn't think. But I really don't know. More A-Box, Gravity and Grace. ASIO, A-S-I-O, stated on 4 November, there's a realistic possibility a foreign government will try to assassinate a dissident on Australian soil. At least 3 nations are willing, capable, possible they'd hire a criminal cutout. It's all real. I have no idea what you're talking about. What is ASIO? Australian Security Intelligence Organization. Now I know. It's like our NSA or CIA. I did not realize I did not realize Australia was so cutthroat. That's balling, dog. My husband's retiring from the Navy next year. We're moving just south of Nashville next summer. Just south of Nashville is amazing. You'll love it. Amanda Van Allen Radiation Belt. You'll absolutely love it. Just south of Nashville is Brentwood. That's where I grew up. It's a nice little town. That is the first little city south of Nashville, right on the other side of Old Hickory. So if you're really moving just south of Nashville, you're going to absolutely love it. It's a fantastic environment. A great place to live, work, and raise a family. 8 birds, $9.99. Thank you for calling Charlie a national treasure. That made me really happy. I also think you're a national treasure, Baron. Bless you. Oh, national treasure? My friend. Now you're just puffing me up with shameless flattery, which I'm a sucker for, by the way. I fall for it every time. It's uncanny how much I fall for shameless flattery. So thank you. Consider me flattered. Kimberly Ludlow, $9.99. Baron, when you speak in your dreamy reading tone, I have to turn you up. When you become animated, volume down, way down. You paid $10 to call me names? That's probably a noise gate issue on the low end. I can turn that down a little bit. But I do prefer you saying dreamy reading tone rather than when you whatever. You could have been really ugly about that, and I appreciate you not doing that. I wouldn't think you had it in you, Kimberly Ludlow, but now I know you don't. No, you don't. Great show, Baron. Huge fan here. Stay blessed, brother. Thank you, Charles McClintock Wilson, photographer in Utah that day. Charles McClintock Wilson, a fantastic photographer. If you've not checked out his work, charlesmcclintockwilson.com. He does great stuff. He truly does. And if you remember back, 20 episodes or so ago, he was the guy I said had a ponytail, but he said he didn't have a ponytail. That was his wife's hair. I'm telling you, looking at a 3-dimensional space on a 2-dimensional screen does things. But thank you for the donation, Charles. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thankful for you and all you do, Baron. Long live Candace. Diva wife I am. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And thankful for that. And yeah, long live Candace. Long live everybody. Like I'm a fan. Even people I don't particularly agree with. And not to say I don't agree with Candace. I think she's done the Lord's work over the last few months. But I don't believe in settling differences this way. Like I don't think this is how you settle differences. You don't like what I say? Say something louder. Say it better. But don't try to stop me from saying it. Don't try to harm me. I mean, that's come on. We're humans. Andrea Jordan, what do you think of Mikey McCoy's explanation for his behavior? I think it's an insult to Charlie's memory. I think the fact that he goes by Mikey's an insult to humanity. And here's what I mean by that. Someone sent me a tip that members of his church did not know he went by Mikey. And that there might be references available from years ago where he did not go by Mikey. Now, Mikey, obviously an infantilized version of Michael, an infantilized shortening of Michael. But think about if you're trying to get him in as the new Charlie. Do you want to be Michael? Do you want to be Mike? Or do you want to be Mikey? Charlie, Mikey. Charlie, Mikey. Mikey McCoy, Charlie Kirk. Mikey McCoy, Charlie Kirk. It's got a little, like you can hit it on the first and third, Boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Same thing. So I don't know. That's a little jazz speak for those of you who are so inclined. People may hate slow-mo, but it does help me a lot. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Baron. Go Max, save Candace, speak up, give thanks. Yeah, maybe 30 seconds is too long. I saw someone complaining that 30 seconds was too long. Maybe I'll cut it to 10 or 20. But when I watched the replay of the live stream, I've never done that before until the other day. I turned it on specifically on that episode so I could do it. And there was so much spam, man. People just right after each other. And I thought this might slow it down a little bit and make people be subscribers before they can join the live stream. So thank you. Thank you for the donation. Owl Facts Finder, I checked on ad-free on YouTube earlier today and just double-checked. It's now $13.99. Told you VPN blocks super chats, but specifically McAfee. That's the problem I had donating to Ian the other night. You just identified the issue. I bet I had my VPN turned on because of some research I was doing right before I tried to donate. So yeah, I don't use McAfee, but I do use a VPN, and that's good to know. I will be sure to turn that off next time because I wanted to donate. I was enthralled, as were many others, and wanted to give him my thanks because I'm like many of you. I'm like many of you. So thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you. Am I wearing Columbia hats? No. This blue hat that I sometimes put a thing on, this is just a Richardson style 112 hat. And this one is a hat I got at a restaurant in Nantucket a couple of years ago called the, what was that restaurant's name? The something Den of Thieves or something? No, not Den of Thieves. Brotherly, let's see here. Nantucket restaurant. Brotherhood of Thieves. The Brotherhood of Thieves. They've got a great clam chowder. I know that's cliche. You don't go to Nantucket and get clam chowder. Ladies and gentlemen, I get it every time I go. I get it everywhere I go. I'll get other stuff. But I'm getting the clam chowder. And I know which restaurants have the good clam chowder and which ones are, opening Campbell's and pouring it in back there. I know. You can't get that trash past me. But I'm going to order it anyway because I'm a sucker for it. And if I'm there, that's what I'm ordering. But no, not Columbia hats. And what do you think I am, wealthy? Columbia hats, they got to be like $50. La Quinta's must-have clerk, recent lawsuit. Wow, Steelers girl, I didn't know. Thanks for that update. I would love somebody to go into that La Quinta in particular and take some pictures of the exterior and interior of the lobby. Guessing the La Quinta cleanup has already happened. Look forward to what comes out from this tip. Thankful for you and everyone's tireless work and sacrifices. Thank you for hope. Thank you for your $20 donation. Very generous. I agree with you. The cleanup has probably already happened. And what I mean by that is, if they were Google searching the names of the surgeons, I assume they were. I can assure you a little more than that went into making sure the hotel stay was going to be a friendly operation. I guarantee it. Thankful for you and everyone's tireless work and sacrifice. Thank you for hope. Thank you. I appreciate all that. I really genuinely do. And we'll see what comes of it. Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, we'd love to solve the Charlie Kirk thing, but he's passed. And I think right now that takes, I hate to say this because people won't understand. It takes second fiddle to keeping Candace alive. Like that has to be priority one, not just for us, but for America. Like the president of the United States, the director of the FBI, the director of national intelligence, the attorney general of the United States. This needs to be a coordinated, the generals of the military. This must be the priority. No American should have to investigate a plot on their life in order to stay alive. 125 pesos equals $6, $6.80. Great show. Happy Thanksgiving. You have a friend from the Buckeye State. O-H-I-O. Except, actually, I think Ohio State and Indiana will play in the Big Ten championship game. I don't really care who wins, though, unfortunately. I wish I did. It'd be cool for Indiana to win the Big Ten championship, but the real prize is, the college football playoff. So as long as nobody gets hurt, I'll be happy. Jay Cara, thank you for the donation. Very generous. Jay Cara, $5. Would AI scraping the internet show up in Google Trends searches? Potentially. I have researched that issue, and I do not have a solid gold answer on that. Not just scraping. Scraping wouldn't show up, but there's a particular technique that people do on Google that Google does try to prevent. They do try to stop it, but where they'll fire in a bunch of Google search requests in a row and scrape the results, that would affect it. But just regular old scraping, probably not. Probably not. But the Google deal would. DC shooter supposedly drops Afghanistan. Have you looked into that? Supposedly drops Afghanistan. I haven't looked into anything. The only thing I saw was the breaking news, and then I came on air. So I've been talking to you about, in velvety tones, by the way. I've been talking to you in a professional radio broadcasting manner about everything we've talked about tonight. Love your shows. Watch every live. God bless. Thank you, Becky Williamson. Thank you for the generous donation, and glad to have you aboard. Love having you here. The live shows are fun. While we're at it, ask about contractors, construction workers staying at La Quinta during August, September, working on campus at the construction projects that have been ongoing. Thanks, Baron. That's a good tip. That's a good tip because you could go to the La Quinta, park out there and look for people in trucks and say, hey, were you here in August and September? Or early September. That's a good tip because they do tend to stay for a long period of time. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Or find out which companies are doing the jobs and then call them and say, did you stay at the La Quinta? We'd like to talk to somebody. Not a bad tip at all. Good job. Franklin Cover-Up, this is Mr. Alton Kudnomi, 27. Franklin Cover-Up, Senator John DeCamp, Rusty Nelson, Paul Bonacci are some key names. Judges, former president, and many were allegedly involved. What are we talking about? Franklin Cover-Up. You talking about the fascist plot to overthrow Roosevelt? I don't know what you're talking about. I'll Google it. Adriana's back with $7 more. Did you know that Australia banned Candace from entering the country? The case is in the appeals court at this time. Crazy town. I forgot about that until you just said that, but isn't that interesting? That they seem very involved in a lot of this stuff, including alleged plots on her life. Or at least people routing IP addresses through Australia. Interesting. Very crazy indeed. 99, Nathan. Thank you for the donation, Nathan. Appreciate it. Angie Williams, 1999. Thank you for all you do. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for people like you. If I was just up here talking to myself, it wouldn't be very fun. Last time I talked to myself, I didn't have a very good time. Sire, man, you people. Sayasi. I saw from X that the hotel had military connections. I didn't see that. I'd be interested in that if you could email it to me. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Not to mention the hotel Google images are not showing cameras. I noticed that, McMillan. I noticed that. That's the first thing I looked for is like, how many cameras are there? And there's none. There's one, like on the entrance. One that I could find. The definition of Orem from Hebrew and the etymology is not shared with Latin and sometimes seen as around. I'll be aroused, good sir. I'm feeling aroused. Crystal Ball, no offense, I'll be 48 in 2 weeks. Good guess. Wow. I was kind of right on the money. I wasn't talking about you, though. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I have a birthday coming up as well. I will not be 48, but I will be close. I will be close. I'll be 46. La Quinta is private, foreknown, super sketchy, everywhere I've ever worked hospitality. You mean the individual location in Orem or just La Quinta in general? I'm going to assume you mean La Quinta in general. Because if you know that much about the La Quinta in Orem, you are a deep diving investigative mom. You know the mommy sleuths? Yeah, you're in the cult. You're deep in the cult if you know the ownership structure of the Orem, Utah La Quinta already. Mail lady, she's back. $2 more. Look at Esther Dennis' comment. Am I going to have to flip back through it? It'd have been easier if you'd have just told me what Esther Dennis said. Whilst you have been live on X, secret gov meetings 13 days after Charlie Kirk between Utah and Egyptian and French intel bosses credit Project Constitution. Crazy day by day. Love the pod. I like Project Constitution. He puts me on some good stuff sometimes. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. Secret government meetings after 13 days after Charlie Kirk. So starting September 23, I guess, between Utah and Egyptian and French intel bosses. I didn't know Utah had intel bosses. That's shocking to me. I sent you an email with mock-ups of T-shirts and hats. I will check it out. I've gotten a few of those. Someone sent me the mock-up of the hat with the actual tape and paper. I'm like, I'm already doing the tape and paper. Like, I've got that covered. I'm good on tape and paper. What I need is a hat that actually, like, you can change it out or something. Let's see here. 1999, Margaret Hill, 2098. Fellow Catholic here. Happy Thanksgiving. Forums. Found you, I'm assuming, through Ian, and so glad I did. I'm glad you found me as well. Ian has done wonders for this program. I appreciate it. I was saddened to learn that that he may have gone live at the same time tonight. So I will have to watch him on replay. I was hoping, again, to go early enough that I would catch him on replay. Catch him live. But he's going earlier and earlier these days. Fellow Catholic here, Oremus. I'm trying to think of a nice Catholic word that we've been talking about tonight. I was not being critical. I simply used my remote. It's crazy that way. Well, it's not crazy to use a remote. That's pretty normal. Pretty standard. I will give you a warning right before I go to my velvety undertones. I'll give you a warning. I just got an email tip. Cash was in New Zealand and made an unscheduled stop in Australia. I'll have to follow that up. You're a lot of fun, informative, and a ginger. Guilty as charged. I recognize the presentation swag. Go Baron, go Max, Jesus is King. Thankful. I am, this beard used to be a lot gingerier, but now it's like paprika, salt and paprika. It used to be a pretty impressive sight, if I do say so myself. Did you check that hotel on Google Trends? I did. Happy Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday. A peaceful day to reflect on all the things we often take for granted while spending time with family. Love your show, brother. Go back and listen to that intro. I did a nice little touch up on Thanksgiving and an explanation of the hotel. So yeah, I checked all that out. Steelers Girl is back. May all the whiny subscribers count their blessings tomorrow. Free Speech USA. I don't deal with whiners. You're too kind, Baron. I'll deal with them. I'll handle it. I've got 8 children. I can handle whiners. I'll say I won't yell at you guys like I have to do at my kids when they whine. Only when they won't go to bed. I can yell upstairs. Do I have to come up there? And that usually does the trick. They don't want me up there after they go to bed. Ideally, I don't go up there but once a month. That's an ideal scenario. In fact, one time it had been so long, I didn't even realize it, but it had been so long since I've been up there. I walked up there and one of my kids was like, what are you doing up here? Like I was an invader. Like I was like I'd broken in their house. I was a stranger in my own house. I was like, I pay the rent, mortgage, whatever. So yeah, all the whiners. I'll treat them like whiners. Anna Christina Loa Recker. Hi, Baron. Love your show. Never miss it. Don't agree about adding National Guard troops based on a single wacko. Poor kids didn't sign off for being pawns. Yeah, I agree, but you also can't reward that and like pull back, right? So it's got to be, you either have to go full bore or you're kind of admitting defeat. And I don't think you should be admitting defeat in the face of a wacko. We'll see what the naked shooter had to say. Why he did it, if he survived. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Blue. Bosa. Go Blue. Is this a Michigan thing? Boy, that would throw things into a panic if the Michigan won their 5th straight against Ohio State. That would really throw things into a mess. Jonathan Jackson, $4.99. Thank you, Joe. Thanksgiving joke. Why don't turkeys wear underwear? Because they're peckers on their head. I'll allow it. My father-in-law doesn't eat chicken, and he used to say he doesn't eat anything that eats with its pecker. It's pronounced Jolie Oli. We got an image to keep up. Jolie Ollie would stay at La Quinta. Thanksgiving Baron. Jolie Oli. Oli. I appreciate that, Whitdom89. I will not get that wrong again. I am familiar. I just never heard the name pronounced that loud. Did you scan through Hampton Inn? Do they have cameras throughout the property just to compare to La Quinta? Ma'am, the Hampton Inn's a respectable establishment. They're going to have cameras. I hope. Happy Thanksgiving, Henry, dear potty mouth prepper 415. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you for the very generous donation. Phil Lyman worked for the Trihurst Corporation in 1986. You might want to put down the computer a little bit, bud, if you know that. Back away from the MacBook. Back up very slowly. Close the clamshell. Go get a sandwich. I'm just kidding. I know this stuff. Phil Lyman worked for Trihurst Corporation in 1986. His mother's maiden name is Steele. Candace mentioned the Steele family. Trihurst Construction Company does a lot of concrete work. Who did concrete job at UVU? I don't think it was Trihurst. I think that's a big concrete company. This was a small job. I think it was like a landscaping company or something. I don't think it was a big contractor like that. But that's interesting. Trihurst, his mother's name was Steele. I do remember her mentioning the Steele family. Maybe that's why. Everyone should give Trigger Smart's video a watch. Smart Secret Expert reveals new scientific evidence in the CK case. At first, it seems crazy, but listen to it in its entirety. You'll be blown away. I like Trigger Smart. I listen to a lot of his stuff. Big fan. Big fan. So, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll absolutely check it out. Thanks, Hazel, for the generous donation, and thank you for the tip. I'll absolutely watch it. Ian Carroll, wow, generous donation. Thank you. Ian, I don't know if you heard earlier. I figured out why I wasn't able to donate the other day. I think I left my VPN on when I was watching, and it was preventing me from doing it. I was just talking about your Bitcoin story with a friend today. I suspect I know what you're hinting at, and it will be epic. Definitely can't wait to watch that episode. Happy Thanksgiving, Baron. I think it will be epic. I'm a little scared of it, though, to be honest with you. I'll be honest. I'm a little scared of the show. I'm kind of hoping somebody else does the Google Trends research, comes to the same conclusion, and does their own show, and I can go, oh, I can't believe you would say that. Why would you say such a thing? Do share. But we'll see. It'll be a fun show regardless, either way. Even if I'm mocking the person like, wow, I can't believe you would say such crazy things about those countries. Thank you, Ian, for the generous donation. For what it's worth, Jorge Falcon is the franchise owner of La Quinta in Orem, Utah, excuse me. Very little information about him, almost no info on him. I'll be the judge of that, sir. Don't tempt me to start researching in the middle of a program, because I'm not going to dox the guy or anything, but I guarantee you I've got subscriptions that'll tell me if there's no information about him. Jorge Falcon. How do you know that's his name? Just a guess. All right, Jorge Falcon. That's because he doesn't live in Orem, Utah, sir. He lives in another city, and he's older than I am, and he's got a son with the same name. So, yeah, there's stuff about him. Don't challenge me, sir. I'll get funky with you. Baron, I got a hot tip about camera footage from September 10th. I'll email you if it checks out. Keep an eye out. Ma'am, if your subject line doesn't say hot tip about camera footage and it gets lost in the shuffle, I'm going to be frustrated. I love hot tips. So bring it. Thank you, Savage Princess, for thinking of the program. I'll be sure to put the camera footage to good use. Super sticker. Thank you, Fife Dog. Very kind and generous. And you skipped my super chat. It was super important. Yeah, because it wasn't $5. I got my $5 rule on tonight. Just like this one. I skipped this one too. Email sent. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mr. But yeah, I skipped a lot of them because I can't read 150 of them and keep people here all night. So I kind of put a limit. I know it's callous, but it's been an hour and 41 minutes, and it probably saved us 20 minutes. And it's the night before Thanksgiving. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Not even a mouse. I just got a link to an Ian Carroll video somebody sent me. Was that you that sent it? and then it was marked private. So I'll have to check that out. Ian, if you're listening, someone sent me. I didn't see who it was, and now it's gone. Someone sent me a link to a Ian Carroll video, but then when I clicked it, it was marked private. So, not sure if that was you or somebody else that has access to a private video that I do not. But I'm eager to watch it because the title looked interesting. Guys, as I opened the show and said, yeah, these times are weird right now, and someone we all dearly care for is scared, and someone that we all respected is there's a lot of mystery around what happened to that person. And you may be experiencing your own tragedy in your life, right? You might have an illness, or you might have a good friend with an illness, or a family member with an illness. You might be staring death in the face. There's no shortage of tragedy. You might be hungry this Thanksgiving. You might be lonely this Thanksgiving. No matter what it is, like, you can still give thanks. Like the Lord gave you today, and he'll give you tomorrow in all likelihood. To wake up tomorrow, stretch, yawn, go to the bathroom, do whatever you do first, get a big old glass of water and look out at the sky and look out at the trees and look out at the clouds. If it's gray and rainy and drizzly, be thankful for that. You can be thankful in the face of adversity. You can be thankful in the face of tragedy, as we talked about at the open of the show. Thanksgiving was founded amidst extreme misery and pain. But people realized that it was still important to stop and thank God, and to thank your friends, and to thank your neighbors, and to just be thankful. So please do that. Please do that. I don't like to get sappy, especially at the end of a show, but please do that. It's an American treasure. Thanksgiving is an absolute American treasure. I agree with the person earlier. If it's not the best holiday, it's one of the best holidays. It's certainly the best non-religious holiday. It is a secular holiday, but it has religious undertones for a lot of us who have strong religious feelings. But give thanks. Give thanks. Call someone tomorrow and say thank you for your friendship. Send them a text. Send them an email. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for what you do. You provide a light in my life. And I say that in all sincerity to this audience. Thank you for what you do. You provide a light in my life. I have broadcasting in my bones. It's in my blood. I love broadcasting. And this gives me that outlet. I don't have to go sit in a radio station anymore. I can sit in my office, in my house. I don't have to go sit in some crazy room with crazy people coming and going. I don't have to go out and sell advertising. I don't have to go out and call on advertisers and make sure they're happy. I don't have to go get numbers from Nielsen ratings and ship them out to everybody. I don't have to. All I have to do is click this button, hit go live, and talk. And it is an absolute blessing. It's absolutely wonderful. And I thank each and every one of you for joining me here. I'm truly thankful. Truly, 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 truly thankful. So with that, I'm even going to do these last two super chats just because they're here, and I don't want to leave them out. Check out Hardcore Jesus Fan. See, he reposted a secret recording of TPUSA event bashing Candace. I saw that. Lots of interesting recording from these events coming out. Yeah, that was Frank Turk, and that was extremely disappointing. Sorry that came in Canuck Bucks. Had to top that last comment up. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, guys, thank you for all you do. I look forward to catching you guys after the holiday. May wait until Sunday, just, kind of let the holiday run its course. But if news breaks or I get a hankering, I may join you a little early. And whoever's free, feel free to join us. And if you're not free, I'll see you in all likelihood Sunday night. Happy Thanksgiving.